हेलो गाइस, आपका स्वागत है एक नए वीडियो में। आपको बताया जाए बेसिक ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन इन अ अर्ली डे लेटर फ्रॉम द डिमांड फॉर द इलेक्ट्रिसिटी एनर्जी a small power station where the bullet in to the supply lighting and the heating load. Modern civilization need produce the bulk and the electrical energy. The energy the demand can be the met by the installer in the power station. Big power big power station are placed in where the fuel, coal, gas, or water energy is unable. The shift of the set of power station are located away the consumer. Electrical energy produced at a power station must be supplied to a consumer. There is a large network conditioner to between a power station due to consumer. This network is divided into transmission and distribution. Electric supply system. Electric power is a power station to consume the prison and known as electric supply system. Electric supply system is a consist of the three component: power station, transmission, distribution. Electric power is produced at a power station and generally quite away of the consumer, transmitted over large distance to a load center to be help of conductor known as transmission line. Finally, to the distribution to a large number of small and the big consumer to high distribution network. Okay. Electric supply system can be the classified into DC and AC system, overhead and underground system. Nowadays, three phase, three wire. AC system in universal adopt for two generation and transmission as an economical system. Distribution is all down by three phase four wire AC system. Underground system is a more expensive than the overhead system in your country in adopt. Overhead system क्या होता है? It is the adopt in transmission and distribution AC electric power. अब type of AC system, AC power supply sequence. ठीक, यहाँ से जनरेटिंग होता है 11 kV, 11 kV 132। फिर उसका प्राइमरी ट्रांसमिशन में 132/11 kV। उसके बाद रिसीविंग स्टेशन में होता है, सेकेंडरी ट्रांसमिशन में होता है 33/11 kV। सब स्टेशन में हो जाता है 11 kV/400 वोल्ट। प्राइमरी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में वो DC पे। ठीक, सेकेंडरी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ये आप देख लीजिए, इसको आप फोटो खींच सकते हैं, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। टाइप in a large network of conductor to between power station and consumer is divided in two part: transmission and distribution. Transmission is primary transmission, secondary transmission. Distribution, primary distribution, secondary distribution. It may be not to that it are not necessary that all power scheme in the individual to all the study. Example में the creating power scheme there may be not a secondary transmission, and in a other case the scheme may be a small that therefore only distribution and no transmission. Generating station. Generating station is a generating station where found to the electric power produce a three-phase alternating operating parallel, usually generating voltage in 11 kV for to economic transmission and electric power. Generating voltage 11 kV is a step up to 220 kV at a generating state with the help of to three-phase transmission. Transmission of electric power and high voltage advantage: saving the of a conductor material, high transmission efficiency disadvantage में insulating problem, cost and switch gear and transformer equipment in increase for economics. Primary transmission in carry out 66 kV, 132 kV, 220 kV and 400 kV. Primary transmission. Electric power and 220 kV and the transmitted by the three phase three wire in overhead system to outside the city. This for to the primary transmission. And secondary transmission क्या है? Primary transmission line is transmitted to the receive the station which the usually lies at a outside of a city. At a receive station the voltage reduced to 66 kV by the step down transformer. For this station is electric power in transmitted in 66 kV by three phase three wire overhead system to the various substations. Primary distribution. A secondary transmission line is transmitted at a substation where the voltage is reduced for a 66 kV, 11 kV, 3 phase 3 wire step down transformer. The 11 kV line are run away the side of a city. This is the form of primary distribution. अब secondary distribution के बारे में देखिए आप. The electricity power for primary distribution line 11 kV is delivered to the distribution substation. Next point, those substations are the located near consumer located at a step down voltage to the 400 voltage 3 phase 4 wire secondary distribution. अब नेक्स्ट पॉइंट में क्या है? The voltage between any two phase 400 volt at between any phase the neutral is 230 volt. Single phase residential lighting and the load connected between any one phase and neutral the three phase 400 volt motor load connected in three phase in line directly. अब देखिए टिपिकली एसी पावर सप्लाई डायग्राम देख लीजिए. इधर से सर्विस ऑफ मेन हो रहा है. ये देखिए फीडर है डीसी में. इधर से डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो रहा है. अब इसके बारे में देख लीजिए. सेकेंडरी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम इन कंसिस्ट ऑफ फीडर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर एंड सर्विस मैन एलिमेंट द लॉ ऑफ वोल्टेज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम. Feeder rating and for to distribute supply the power distributor ABBC CDAD. No consumer is given the directly connected for two feeder. The instance and consumer are connected to the distributor through the there in the service main. Practically power system has a large number of acceleration and equipment. एग्जाम्पल में देखिए क्या फ्यूज सर्किट ब्रेकर वोल्टेज कंट्रोल डिवाइस एक्सेट्रा. पर्पस ऑफ डिस्प्ले द जर्नली लेआउट द पावर सिस्टम. स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ पावर सिस्टम शो बाय द सिंगल लाइन डायग्राम. ठीक. Comparison of a DC and AC transmission. Electric power can be the transmitted by DC, AC, and each system has it on the meter in the generator. DC transmission advantage में क्या है? High voltage DC transmission has advantage over high voltage and AC transmission. Require the only two conductor has compared to the 3D or AC transmission. There is no inductance and capacitance phase displacement and the switching problem in a DC transmission. Voltage drop at the DC transmission is a less than AC line for a same load and the ascending at the end voltage. There is no scheme effect in transmission. A DC line has a less cornea in losses, reduce the interference with a conductor and circuit. High voltage in the DC transmission is from dielectric losses in a case of cable. No established problem to the schematic and defective disadvantage maker. Electric power connected by the generating and the high DC voltage. The DC voltage cannot be the step up. The DC switches and a circuit breaker it on the eliminator. Electric energy is generated, transmitted, and distribution in form of AC. Advantage में क्या है? Power can be generated at high voltage and maintenance for two AC substation and EG and chopper. The AC voltage can be the step up and a step down by the transformer. This parameter of the transfer power in high voltage and distribution at a safe potential. Disadvantage में क्या है? An AC line required for to copper than a DC line. Construction for to AC transmission line in more complicated and DC transmission line. Due to the skin effect for to AC system and the effective in resistance for to line increasing. And a AC line has the capacitance therefore to the increase continuous in losses power due to charging in current even where the open. Various system of power transmission. DC system, single phase AC system, two phase AC system or three phase AC system. Thank you for watching video.